Hello and welcome to another episode of the Just Go Watch podcast. This week, as we approach the festive period, we're getting into that musical nature with Wicked. No, DJ. Oh, I thought you might have come in singing there. That's fine. I'll just play the intro.
I don't need
absolute fucking dog shit.
I do not need to see it to know it's dog shit.
Well, there we are. You snake of a man. I've given you the space to put the intro, and then you've not done it, and then I've tried to tell you to do it. You've cut me off, so you can't be trusted.
I love that. I love that new tradition. Also, I really like it when it seems like something is unplanned, but it was actually planned.
Well, there we are. Oh, there we are. You've done that. You've done that both. Let's welcome back MP in it.
Who? I don't know. Do we have a third member of the podcast? I thought it was just
no, fellas, no. This is not how we're doing this. Last week, at the beginning of the last week's episode, you all did like a whole production for Jules's return. And this is where I get, MP's back. Fuck him. No. I want some music. I want some editing. It sounded like Hatch actually did some editing in that as well. Come on.
That was live. That shit was live.
That was live. Oh, so it was well rehearsed.
Oh, yeah.
Well rehearsed.
It was
that's what Julesy got. But here I am doing Wicked. Hey, Julesy's not showing up for Wicked, is he? No.
I'd sent Deej a script a few months beforehand. We went into pre-production for that.
Oh, I'm sure. Woo.
Back in 2022 when it got
I had to turn it off. It sounded like Deej. It was the first time he'd ever seen a pair of boobs every time Jules talked.
Jules does have tits.
That's a terrific pair.
I hope you put some plastic down around wherever you were sitting to clean up easier.
The tragic thing there actually is that obviously, as we said, Deej had been sort of messing around with talking to the spirits. What he's not mastered, however, is their longevity. So as quickly as he arrived and appeared, he then disappeared.
Yes.
Yeah.
As soon as Wicked arrived, he was gone.
The thing was, the sad thing was that having got back into the pod and reaping the riches that comes with being a member of the world's greatest podcast, he then could afford to actually buy some food again and quickly choked on said food, and now he's dead again. So having come back to us,
he bought?
What didn't he buy? What didn't he buy? Just went to the store. He ate one of the shopkeepers. He's what a large, what grotesquely
some men
large
just will never learn from their mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's why he's in hell.
Yeah.
That is why he is in the ninth circle.
Yeah. But I mean, at least he can pass your messages on to Jimmy Savile now, can't he? Hatchie? You know what I mean?
But
So we need to get back in touch with him and try. Like, I'm thinking like he's gone in the same way like a comic book character is dead. You know what I mean? Like he's dead.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, Julesy is once again dead. So don't expect him to come back until there's like some sort of special that we.
No one's ever really gone.
Until like the Predator sequel comes out, and then somehow.
Yeah, exactly. But no. Aside from all that, great to have you back, mate. Anyway, moving on.
That feels about right. That's what I expect.
Well, I've got to kind of get in as much as I can because it won't be long before I disappear as well.
Yeah. There's only one constant, boys, and you shall know him, for he shall be ever present. You shall know him. Listen, Al-Gaib. I brought a man back from the dead, and now I'm welcoming back our transatlantic brethren. So, I do it all.
To your powers.
Pray at the altar of me. Suck me, Hatch.
You sound like you could be the character of Galinda. Like she has the same. That's the movie we're reviewing today. In case you've forgotten the character's name. No, missed out on that one. Well, that is a really strong start. We've forgotten the main character's name, or the second main character, whatever you want to say. But no, we are doing Wicked, and I think this is actually a first for the Just Go Watch podcast. I think this is the first musical that we've reviewed.
You did Joker.
Yeah, Joker.
That was a musical, no?
Oh, I don't count that. I don't count that. I also want to wipe that from my mind. That's not.
I haven't actually seen that.
You're not going to see that on Broadway. You're not going to see that
That's
on Broadway.
true. All right,
that was Joaquin Phoenix, like humming, whispering his lines,
warbling along.
Yeah,
you mean like an actual musical, like a musical.
I mean like an actual musical. You know, with some theatre. Not just some mopey fucking stupid
pointless
whatever Joker 2 was.
Yeah. Oh, listen, this is the thing about this podcast is we will review anything. If it's out, we will review it.
Unfortunately,
it's out, and we think it will get traction. We will do it, but we're not a machine.
Podcasting horse right now. We will do anything.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I'll review anything. I'll review
next week is Oliver
Send me your home movies of you laying pipe with your missus, and I'll review that on here. As long as she's of age, Hatch. Yeah, calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so just a general question for the both of you before we get into Wicked. Musicals, theatre, the going of and seeing. Thoughts and feelings?
Yeah.
Pro?
Love it.
On?
Love it. Could not be more pro. Could not be more pro. Which may cause some dissension as we get further into this.
Possibly.
I love a musical.
Okay, so in general, we're talking music, not this specific musical.
I'm saying
I've seen Wicked in the theater, and I love it.
Well, I have never seen Wicked in the theater. I have been to some musicals, but
I love it.
Please, God.
Listen, I go into the theater to watch musicals, and I am defying gravity afterwards because I am on a high. Feel me?
Okay.
This is as unstreet as I've ever been, but I love that shit. I love that shit, and it made me surprising in the same way. In the same way as Notting Hill is like one of my favorite films. Just some shit you can't explain, brother. You can't explain it, but I love musicals.
MP, I'm sensing some difference of opinion from you.
Yeah, not a big fan of the musical. I have been to a few. There are really two people on earth that will get me to a musical. That one would be my daughter if she asked, and the other would be any kind of beautiful woman who said, "Hey, let's go to a musical." But other than that, I am not flying high afterwards. And I have heard of Wicked, but I knew nothing about it before.
What is this here musical that you trying to get me to go
play?
to?
Why the hell are they singing songs instead of talking?
Why the hell are they singing? Ain't nobody walking around singing like that. What is this bullshit?
What kind of goddamn queer prevarication is this? I can't stand it. What a tarnation am I seeing right now? God damn it.
I see someone singing like that walking down the street. They gonna get bullet between them eyes.
Just talk, God damn it! Just talk. Stop singing.
I'm gonna start swinging. I'm not stopping till the police show up.
I'm gonna pull out my 6-shooter.
MP, unfortunately, you are actually outnumbered because I am quite the fan of musicals, theatre in general. In fact, I will go and see. So I actually very much enjoyed the Moulin Rouge earlier this year.
Preach, man. À la théâtre. Go to français. En français. Yeah.
Oh my God.
En français and
I
travel.
Literally feel my testosterone lowering right now. Just even talking to you fellas about this shit.
My favorites are actually some of the classics, Les Mis and Phantom of the Opera. But I see Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
More
The
see him as myself.
Phantom of the Opera is here. Oh man, what a musical that is. I only saw that
look down,
Lord.
Don't look him in the eye. Les Mis.
Listen, man, musicals are great, and even ones like the Book of Mormon. The Book of Mormon is elite stuff, man. Oh my God, elite stuff. Like,
do you know what I want to go and see? Don't come at me here, but The Choir of Man.
I don't know.
Not heard of that one? Hey, listen, I think you'd enjoy that, Deej.
I'm sure I would.
There's usually a lot of women going to watch it, but listen, look, I'll go and see it. I don't care.
Listen. I like singing. I like good voices. I like theater. I like acting. All those things. Listen, man, I'm down for all of it, man. You're not trying. Listen, who are you trying to convince here? You know?
Okay.
I love that shit.
So the lines, the battle lines,
sucking each other off, and let's get on with this review.
Yeah, the lines have been set. MP's patience has been tested.
Oh,
so
tested.
I will now.
Oh my God.
Continue. Wicked 2024. Directed by John Chu, who I'm not so au fait with, but that's not unusual. MP, any thoughts, feelings, John Chu?
I did not even look him up, so no, I've got nothing for you.
No dramas there. Runtime of
oh God,
160 minutes. And
my God,
I have not seen Wicked in the theatre, but Deej, perhaps you can attest to this. We actually only hit the halfway mark in the theatre production. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. It's not
the final part of this film is actually the intermission of the theatre production.
But it's like I think certain bits are organized slightly differently.
Yes.
I mean, I haven't seen Wicked for about 15 years in the theater, so like, but I mean, it feels about halfway from what I remember.
So there's more coming.
Long film. There is, yes, to be continued indeed, as the credits suggested. What do we think the budget was?
I mean, there's a lot of special effects in this. A lot of set pieces, a lot of people. The budget's gonna be big, man. A lot of people in this. I'm gonna say. Remind me, Hachi, what was Gladiator last week?
250 to 310. So
God dang.
I'm gonna say 170.
170, he says. Do I get any advance on 170?
Yeah, I think I'll go. Yeah, there was a lot of special effects, and I read that they had a lot of practical sets and stuff. So I'm go. God, this looks like a $200 million movie. So let's go with that.
Both of you are a little bit north. 150 million.
Ah, really? Well, they did a good job with that.
I mean, the money probably went on that marketing tour. We'll talk about that presently. Box office. So I have, and I make sure I now know because I know I'm going to get asked. I have the facts and figures, the worldwide for the weekend. I know we're at Sunday evening here in the Bunny UK, but somehow they have the box office. I suppose maybe the little bit they know if people have booked tickets, they're not just accounting the last minute attendees. So yes, it is the full weekend worldwide.
I don't know, man. I mean, I when I looked to book, it was like everything was packed out pretty much. Like I think this is gonna be a big opening. So first week, I don't know, maybe budget 150.
150, he says.
Worldwide. All right. I don't know. Mine was different. I went Friday. I did sneak away from work to go early just to get it over with. And my theater was empty. A few families came in with little kids. I did explain to them that while I am with Just Go Watch Pod, I wasn't Hatch, and there was a real sigh of relief on the parents' face. But and I'm dragging this out. Let's go. God, this is gonna be big because Wicked is famous. I mean, even I know it, and I don't know anything about musicals. Let's go 200 million. I know, but I haven't talked to you all in so long. I just want to drag it out here. I'll go 200 million worldwide.
164.
Dang, that's good.
164. Yeah, so over budget.
I think this is going to do well and truly. It's going to well and truly justify that second movie. I think.
Yeah. No. This is going to be
last night was packed.
Yeah, this is going to be a massive hit. There's no doubt. I mean, literally, I had to try and squeeze into a showing because of the amount of full ones there were.
Yeah, I actually wasn't allowed to book my tickets until the day before because I didn't go.
Law enforcement had to vet you before they would let you into the theater.
I was waiting for my permission slip. No, I didn't go alone. I went with the GF, and she didn't want to commit to a time until like the day before. So by the time I was booking, I was like, you know me, I was getting a little bit trippy at the lack of seats available. Anyway, I won't talk about that. So the plot for Wicked. I mean, I don't really need to go too much into this. It's a story as old as time, really. It's good versus evil. No, it's not really. It's how people are manipulated and become evil, and nature versus nurture, and green people.
Right, I'm gonna step in here. I'm gonna step in here. I can already feel this is becoming this is too much for you.
Thank God. Thank you, Muad'Dib. Save us,
I can feel it
Muad'Dib.
already. The heckling you took last week on in combination with your natural proclamation to want to be longer is all at war, and you are at sea here, my friends. I'm just gonna step in. I'm gonna take over here. Okay, I'm gonna take over here. So this film kicks off. The end of the Wizard of Oz. The Wicked Witch of the West is dead, and the people of Munchkin Land and Oz are celebrating. We then we then go back in time to the beginning, when we see how the Wicked Witch of the West is born. She's born because her mother's a cheating whore who drinks some green stuff. Comes out green. Father's not happy about it. In the end, we go to Shiz's school, where the Wicked Witch of the West meets Glinda, and we see their friendship and how they are using it. And through their friendship, they bond, and eventually they make their way to the Emerald City, where they're going to see the Wizard of Oz, who turns out to be a terrible man who is trying to steal animals' voices because he wants to give the people a common enemy. And the Wicked Witch of the West, as she now is, flies off into the distance, and we're set up for the kind of second act, which is going to be like what leads up to the Wizard of Oz. That's the plot. That's the plot.
The merciful Muad'Dib has saved us. Saved us all.
You all know him, for he will blag his way through the plot summary.
That was pretty, I thought that was actually pretty lacking in detail.
Yeah. As it should be. As it should be.
Well, okay. Look, as soon as he's been absent, I won't go quite as far as to say we've missed him, but he has been absent. So, MP, why don't you take it away with your thoughts and feelings on what was your rating?
Oh my god. Yeah. Just quickly, has there ever been a 0 on this show? Just for my personal. All right. Yeah, I've already said I was not looking forward to this movie. This is not a movie I would want to see. I'm not into musicals. And really, I know you guys, I had my girlfriend with me and I had the missus with. I don't have that. So I'm sitting here all by myself, middle-aged man. Afterwards, I went to the gym and I lifted a lot of weights and found a restaurant, ate the rarest steak I could, and smacked the waitress on her ass. And then the cops came. It was worth it to get my testosterone back up. But as I went into this movie, yeah, I was really not looking forward to it. I'm sitting there. There's things about it that I have issues with. I will say from the start, when I just didn't understand, and maybe it was in one of the musicals songs because I tuned most of them out, why her being green was so awful and weird and stuck out in Oz of all places. This is a weird fucking place to begin with. I mean, she was delivered by a talking dog and a talking bear. So I don't understand why a green person would be so out of touch in this world. Oh, let's see. I know it's her dad's gonna be the wizard, and that's in the sequel, whatever. The cast, I didn't really. Cynthia, or I can't say her last name. Erivo, is that sound right? Yeah, thank you. Singing wise, I think she was amazing. I was like, oh my god, every time she did sing a song, although they were way too long, she really has a great voice. But I don't know if it was her or the character was just kind of boring to me. Maybe because everything was so easy for her. She was so perfect, so nice, and so great, and all that. And it was just nothing there. So I kind of got bored real quickly. But when two characters, one of them was really a surprise to me. But when the prince showed up, Jonathan Bailey, I can't remember the prince's name, but he seemed to inject some life into it. He had like a little, I don't know, charisma, and he was, hitting on all the girls. He was following Captain Kirk and not minding hitting on a green lady, but he was a lot of fun. He brought some joy to it, and I'm gonna give her credit because I don't like Ariana Grande, and this isn't a personal thing. I don't know her as a lady. My daughter used to watch her show that she used to be on, and it was so fucking annoying. So I went into this like, oh dear God. Actually, she was the best part of the movie. I thought she was having a lot of fun. She injected a lot of fun. She has a character arc in the movie. I liked some of the songs between her and Bubba, whatever. God, I can't remember that. What was her name? Abubala or whatever that there when they had the roommate song. I know this is terrible. The roommate song was pretty good, and the when she's giving her the makeover song, that was really good. I enjoyed that. I think my biggest issue with this movie is it's way too long and the songs are way too long. And there's plots, and you'll have to tell me because you've seen the play that I don't know, like with the sister and this whole animal revolution or whatever. Every time it would turn into those areas, it just got dull and boring to me. But when it stuck with, like, really, especially Ariana Grande, it was as Galinda. She was a lot of fun. And when I was having fun, I was enjoying the movie, surprisingly. So, I like some of the sets, and they're all practical and CGI mixed. And I like the library set with all the twisting books and stuff like that. And like I said, the roommate song was a lot of fun. But overall, I've got to say it surprised me. But I think from a personal level, as much as I don't like these movies, this feels like a movie like with Hatch with gore in horror movies where he just doesn't like. I'm the same with the musical. On a personal level, I was ready for this movie to be over, so it would have been a really low score, but I'm going to give it credit. There's a lot of love. You could tell that everybody's into this movie. I'm going to give it a 6.
Wow.
Right.
I was not expecting that.
I was not expecting that either.
Neither was I.
Well, I'll say what I need to say. I was kind of interested in to hear you go first, Hatch, but I know how you like to crib off of me, so
I can do if you want. I can do. Listen, I can go a drop of a hat.
No, go on then.
All right, yeah, fine. This is most unordinary. So yeah, I've always got my ear to the ground when it comes to big movies that are coming out. So I was very well aware, and I will touch on the press rounds that these two, Ariana Grande and Erivo, were on, and I was getting real tired of the emotional, oh my God, this film is going to change lives. We're saving the queer, agenda or whatever. We are there for, we're basically saving anybody that doesn't consider themselves normal. We are the shining beacon of light. And they were getting teary eyed every time. I just thought, fuck off. I was getting sick of it. It was doing my bloody head in. Crying every time they're getting interviewed. Like, you're making a movie. You're getting paid millions to make a movie. I'll get on my soapbox, actually. Yeah, let's just adjust myself here. You're making a fucking movie and you're earning millions for it, all right? You're not a doctor saving lives. You're not putting yourself in the front lines in a military conflict to try and bring back the kids whose homes have been burnt down. So shut up, advertise your movie, and fuck off. All right? Anyway.
Oh, you don't know.
I am done. That said, as I've said, I am a huge fan of musicals. I'm always being told to shut up singing by my other half. So, and I just carry on, obviously, because I don't listen to no one. So, music-wise and everything else, I knew I'd enjoy it, and I was thinking, how kind of, are they going to really hang their flag on the old multicolored flag? And I was immensely pleasantly surprised to find that this was essentially just a really good adaptation of a theatrical production, which is very, very difficult to do. Cats. It's very difficult to do. You either go kind of more grounded, which they did in probably Les Mis, I suppose, Phantom of the Opera to an extent, with a very young Gerard Butler. Or you go super fantastical, and this kind of did that kind of fantastical way. It actually felt like I would go so far as to say it felt like a theatrical production in film, in the way it was very over the top. It can be a bit jarring at times, and it doesn't quite relate, I think, in some ways. But they did it really well. The musical numbers, I mean, Ariana Grande and Erivo, they were just through Erivo, so they were unreal. Their vocals, I mean, I know they're going to be doing it in a sound, so sound booth, whatever, but they were phenomenal with their voices and the songs. The songs are great themselves. I mean, I was waiting the whole way through for Defying Gravity at the end, which was again exceptional. And and I actually thought there were some bits that were quite.
I can't believe I just heard a grown man say that.
Hey, well, there you are. First thing for everything. Yeah, I thought some of the comedic bits from like the sidekicks and stuff were quite funny. And yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Now, having said that, way too long. What are you doing? You're halfway through an hour and 60 minutes. Like, there were kids in there. There was one kid who got a set of headphones out because she was obviously like bored as fuck, because she was like, what, it's going on for way too long. And I felt the first 40 minutes they could have almost done without, or they really needed to streamline it. Because it wasn't until 40 minutes in that she's basically in that dynamic at the university where things kind of start going. So way too long. Added into that, this is not a story aimed at me, right? You know, this is not aimed at me. I'm not going to go and get my Glinda outfit, you know, for Halloween and be like, oh my God, I'm a fairy now. You know what I mean? That's Saturday nights at the club. Yeah, this is not, this is me. This is basically the equivalent. I see it is it's like a rom-com, and every now and again there's a scene I like, because for the, you know, in this one there's the music. But overall, I didn't think it was bad at all. I'm not going to go rush to watch it again. I like the music, so I may well listen to some more of that. But yeah, you know, the major flaws are it's way too long, and the story just kind of isn't really for me. So I am on I'm probably on a 6.5 actually. I'm quite surprised that I am close to MP, but mine's solely because I appreciate that I am not the target audience here, essentially.
Interesting. A lot of good things being said here. Interesting. So, I mean, yeah, you know, what can you really say about this film? What can you really say? Excellent singing, and I mean, I like very much like the theater production. So watching this, it's kind of hard not to like it, because it's like I'm watching it it's just a bigger version, I suppose, of the theater. But at the same time, yeah, actually, you're right. Too long. Because sometimes I'm watching, I'm like, okay, just get on with the plot now. Like, everyone's singing. And whereas when you're in a theater, it's like all the songs are good, because it's just like you're just seeing all these things. You're looking around. It's like, oh God, this is so cool. It's live, people singing, and the production. Whereas when you're watching a film, I'm like, all right, this is just a song now. So I'm not as interested. So unless one of the main two is doing a massive number, I'm a bit like, yeah, I don't really care. So there was a point where I did actually feel my eyes starting to get a bit sleepy. I was actually getting a bit tired. I was like, I'm getting a bit bored now. But it does then hit some really good notes when, you know, as soon as Cynthia, what's her last name? Erivo singing, you're like, oh my God, what a voice. And Ariana Grande, I thought Ariana Grande was fucking great in this. I thought she was so good. Like the whole way through, just yeah, great stuff. It looked like $1 million. Like, it looked great, I thought. And it kept the essence of the theater in there. Like, they didn't like try and turn it into a film musical. It still felt like I was watching a theater production. So yeah, difficult. I'm not like, I wouldn't go and see it again, and I doubt I'll ever watch it again, but I did enjoy it. I don't know, a bit weird seeing, like, I don't know, these are supposed to be like, what, like 18-year-olds, or no, not even that. I don't know. They're just about to go to school.
Well, yeah, I suppose it's university. So yeah, so
18, and like Cynthia Erivo is like 37, and that bloke must be like in his 30s. Like, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, why are you telling me there are no teenagers out there that can play these roles? But yeah, and I'm with Hatch to a certain extent, like seeing the press stuff. Like, oh my God, I watched one this morning where this woman was like, just I want you to know that a lot of the queer
community, I saw this one,
has been keeping space with what you said. And I'm like, what the fuck does keeping space mean? What the fuck is it? Is this like 2024's speaking truth to power, or whatever the fuck? Like, that you know what I mean? It's like every year someone comes out with some phrase that just, like, you know, in 2020, like 22, it was like rest in power instead of rest in peace. And then it was like speak truth to power. And now it's like keeping space with something. It's just like, and then she's like, I didn't know that. That's exactly what I wanted. And I'm just like, all right, man.
Looking around like, yeah, someone's about to bring out the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, like, it is just a film. It's not even like it's a serious film. It's not like it's a film that's challenging gender fucking roles and and challenging like sexual I don't know, like positions people take on sexual identity and stuff.
It literally is just any envelopes.
Yeah, like there will be many people that won't even get that there's any kind of like LGBTQ part of this. Do you know what I mean? They will. Many people watch that and be like, "What? Who's gay or lesbian in that? I don't get it." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm a bit like, well, I don't know, but yeah, in terms of like you, Hatch, I didn't feel like it was pushing that agenda anyway. So this is why I find it kind of funny when I see those interviews. So yeah, overall, I liked it. I'm probably in line with you guys. Yeah, I'm probably about to say a 6.5. I didn't love it, but the singing was top notch, and we'll go and see the second one. So yeah, 6.5.
Yeah.
I'll look at that.
You know what? I actually I didn't really mention in my elongated review there. Yeah, Ariana Grande. I was so surprised. I was fully expecting her to be a standard, yes, she can sing, and she's just in the scenes waiting for her next music number. But she was, dare I say, quite comedic.
The whole hair flip thing that she was doing, I thought that was hilarious. Every time she did it, I would laugh.
Look, because you can almost do that, right? I was almost half thinking like that was how she would be, but unironically. Do you know what I mean? Where she'd almost like, it was like counting down like 3, 2, 1. My line. Do you know what I mean? That's the way I almost saw that she could kind of be. But yeah, no, she was doing it, and I genuinely, I would not have said that she was. I know she did stuff she was in shows as a kid, was she?
Yeah, I can't remember what they were, Disney or Nickelodeon. My daughter used to, and she played this character who
wasn't she like Ray?
She was like an airhead, and she talked like this in the whole show, and I would be like, oh my god, it's driving me crazy.
Was she in that like Everybody Loves Raven show or something like that? Or
I don't remember which one it was. I think she was in 2. She was the same character, but she was in 2 different shows. I don't remember, but I just remember my daughter.
She wasn't. And I was like, she wasn't quite a Miley Cyrus then.
What's that?
She wasn't quite a Miley Cyrus level.
No. She wasn't massive.
She wasn't that big. No, but she was kind of popular because I think after that show, she started her musical career and had some hits.
Right. So she's done some acting, I suppose. But yeah, I never really thought that she would have this in her in terms of a big budget type thing, and not just to have it in her to like, yeah, she's fine. Like you'd say, like every time someone it's not their main thing comes in, like they do a solid job or something. But yeah, I think she steals a lot of the scenes she's in.
Yeah, she does
with that kind of airheadness. And I mean, I love like the bit where she's starting to bond with Elphaba, and she like flumps down on the bed like all dramatically, and then like checks over her shoulder. No, I found myself, I was like, I'm actually enjoying this kind of thing. It is quite, I don't know, it is quite humorous. It is quite sweet the way she's doing it.
There was one point where she said something about, I didn't get my way. I didn't know what that was like, or something like that.
Yeah.
I enjoyed all of that. That was a lot of fun. She brought a lot of fun to this movie. Every time she was on the screen, I kind of like, oh, who is this? This can't be Ariana Grande, but she did a great job.
Yeah.
That makeover song, Popular or whatever, that was top notch.
Yeah.
That was top draw.
Yes.
I thought.
Yeah. I mean, you can see there. I mean, I know from some of her music videos and stuff, she does a lot of the dancing and things. She's obviously quite athletic and kind of stuff. So she's kind of rocking it on the screen itself as she's like prancing around doing it. I can't follow. I wonder. I don't think this will be her going into any other stuff. I know she had a big affinity with Glinda or Gerlinda until she changes her name from sort of having seen Wicked and stuff. So I genuinely believe that for her and Cynthia, that this was a genuine dream come true. Like when
I think that shows
100%.
And it does come through in the movie. As much stuff as we watch that feels like they just slap it together and throw it. This felt like top to bottom, it was by people who cared about this project, Wicked, and they wanted to do their best for it. And when you see that, even if like I said, it's not for me, this isn't what I want to watch, I can still appreciate the fact that there's filmmakers and actors and everybody putting everything they can into this movie.
Absolutely.
I'm watching it when I kept thinking to myself, this must have been the most fun to film. Like, just doing it must have just been such a good experience. Like, I can see why they have this positive, like this kind of love affair with the thing, because it must have been so good to film, such a positive vibe. So, and then you're right. I think it comes through in both the love that's put into the production and the performance as well. So, and that's
Do
good.
you know what I wish like that they were in their marketing and stuff, that they were almost like the same chill, like relatively down to earth, like Cynthia. Like, I mean, she's insufferable in these interviews, and I vibe more with her character. Like, you know what I mean? She's presenting this character as though it's like this, like, oh my goodness, yeah, and the people who hate difference and stuff, they're going to hate this character. Like, you know, anybody who is average or is just like generally consider themselves an all right person will like obviously sympathize and be a fan of the character. And then I see her in real life and I think, oh, it's one of those scenarios where you just you know, that would be a real case of don't meet your heroes. You know, all these these little girls out there who
don't
who steer in the film and they
don't listen to celebrities. Don't do anything like that. They're all morons.
Did you read about the Did you read about the poster thing?
Yes.
Oh, that was the worst, man. That was the worst.
That one is crazy.
Horrible.
Like,
I couldn't hate her more.
Message? In the message, she's like, "This is the most wild thing I've ever seen." Like, really?
Yeah.
And this, what? Your life must have been chill, girl. If this is the most, someone editing a movie poster is the most wild thing you've ever seen.
The thing is as well,
I've chosen to look at you. I've chosen to look down the camera at you, and you taking away my eyes, takes away my being, it takes away my soul.
Yeah.
You're killing me.
We
like,
communicate through the eyes and blah blah. Well, that was the whole point of the original, because you're only getting the smirk, you're only getting half the thing. And that was again, but she's just completely missed the mark. I also thought it was so narcissistic, like to think that you own this character now. You are playing a part in a film, all right, bitch. Like, you don't own this character. You have no
ownership by loads of other people as well.
You are playing
other people have played this character for 20 years.
On Broadway 100%. In the West End, like how fucking arrogant of you. And then noticeably, you know, you got Ariana Grande. Like, I don't think she said fuck all during it. She wisely was like,
because they asked her about it, and bless her heart, she tried to make the most politically correct answer to please everybody, but she doesn't seem to be the sharpest tool in the shed. So it came off as just like word salad that she threw out there. Like, okay, that's. But then I
can't blame her for that. I mean, it's also because I see that Peter Dinklage is in this as well. He was the GOAT, wasn't he? I mean, he himself has also come up with his own range of bollocks when it comes to people being cast and things like that as well. I was really worried. Going into this that it was just going to be a sea of just, you know, the politics and you have. I mean, I didn't really get that. I mean, if you were to look in the background and look at some of the way people are dressed, you know, some of the blokes are in that like half skirt, half trouser. I mean, that's no different to any kind of theatre stuff. I think if you're really wanting to think that there's a message there, I'm sure you could read into it, and I'm sure on both sides of the political fence people will be like, yes, that's for us, that's, or like, oh, see how they do that, they put that in their face. For me, I'm just like, it's a magical land where you've got fucking bears teaching people and delivering foxes without hands delivering babies, you know.
I don't mind a little bit.
You do what the fuck you want with your dress.
I don't mind a little bit of, like, you know what I mean, like adapting something to meet more the times, you know, like you know, in that Lord of the Rings thing, the Rings of Power, where, you know, there's Chinese elves and black elves and stuff, and like some people are like, oh, Tolkien only ever wrote about, you know, there was no blah 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 in Tolkien's writing. You're like, yeah, because Tolkien's probably racist. I mean, he like grew up in like a time where like basically like it was okay to like he probably said the N-word like all the time. Like, you know, there's no like, you can't use that as justification not to like change things in line with society. So I don't mind that. It's when it gets like ridiculously preachy and stuff. Like, for instance, I read that recently the Fantastic Four film is going to have a female Silver Surfer in it, because at one point in the comics there is a female Silver Surfer, and I'm just like, why? You're literally just doing that, Disney, to have a female Silver Surfer, as opposed to it being because the main Silver Surfer is a man. So just have the man. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's when they do it for no reason, just to kind of have this, like, you know, Disney are the kings of it at the moment, aren't they? Just like, oh yeah, you know,
Well,
I mean, blah 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 blah.
with some things, I think it's often a the way to kind of scale it is like, well, okay, if the shoe was on the other foot here, you know. So for example, with the Witcher series, which was quite heavily diverse in the background, and yet was, you know, it was written by a Polish author, and who had set it around, you know, a slightly fictional, because obviously you've got the magical element, but essentially that kind of Northern European, or, you know, around Poland and surroundings. So then it does, like, when you've got, you know, oh, it's too white type of thing. Well, if you then had a story that was set, you know, in, I don't know, in South America, so you're going to think, well, surely everyone would be some, you know, some sort of Latino type thing. Or if it was in, you know, sub-Saharan Africa or something like that, or the Middle East, then depending on the time zone, well, then cast the people who would be right. The problem comes is if you're only, well, we're only doing European stories. That's then the problem, and that's I actually felt a little bit sorry for Ubisoft, which I don't say often, because they got slated for this Black Samurai, but there is actually a story of it now, whether it's embellished and everything else. But there is a story of a Black Samurai who existed, and yet Ubisoft were slated for it. You know. But yeah, in principle, especially in some sort of magical land, then yeah, cast whoever you want.
Well, that was one thing, though. I will say, we're following this thread back onto Wicked here. That was sort of the issue I had with her being ostracized for being green, is because everybody is so eclectic. Everywhere they go is just this homogenized, not even homogenized. It's just this multinational group of people. Even her sister, who's in the wheelchair, when she goes to school, she's instantly accepted. So I'm like, there's all these different colored people and races and sizes and everything. Why is it that she's green? Everybody's like, oh my God, she's a freak. I could not buy into that through the whole movie.
Yeah,
I mean, in the play that's better explained.
I think
I don't think so. I think it's just. I
get the point they're making. It felt weird because everything seemed.
But there's no humans in it. There's no humans that aren't human. Do you know what I mean? It's not like there's like.
Yeah, but they're all different colors, and you got talking animal. I mean, a professor.
No, you got talking animals,
and everybody's just like, all right, cool, whatever. So why would it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's green. I'd be like, okay, she's green.
I don't know. Like, I guess. I don't know. I mean, yeah. I suppose you're not supposed to like question things like that too much.
That is the type of thing where I'm like, theater's going to theater there. Theater's going to theater.
Fair enough. I mean, I didn't. It wasn't like, oh my God, I hate this movie, because it was something that every time they would do it, I was just like, oh, but there's a flying whatever right there in the corner. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have. That's weird in this weird environment.
Yeah, I will. I accept your point, whilst also not. I mean, yeah. It is a factually
just leave it right point. There. You accept my point.
I do it. Yeah, I do accept it, and I don't have an answer for you.
Let me write this down. What's today?
Yeah, movie.
I just think she's a human that's green, and then no other human is green, so she's an outcast because of it. And that's that, innit?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But in my brain, I was like, it doesn't make sense to me, especially when there's, like you said, a bear and a dog that with no hands giving it's the doctor. Oh my God, the green baby's weird. Wait a minute, you got a dog delivering your wife's baby.
That was a fox, and that's I can't.
Oh, that makes it not weird.
There's a fox, you racist.
Yeah, they all got 4 legs. Me, I don't care.
Know which side you'd be on.
That's right. Animals in cages.
Burn the witch.
In the play, is the sister and the animal stuff, is that part of the play or not part of the play?
Yeah. But the sister, they go more into the sister in this film.
Yeah, I would forget about her, and then she would show up, and I'd be like, oh, that's right, there's her sister is here.
Well, her sister's the
that
Wicked
is one
Witch of the East. Her sister's the one that gets crushed by Dorothy's house in
is
Wizard
it?
of Oz.
Is she in a wheelchair?
Well, to be fair, if a house is falling on you and you're in a wheelchair, you're going to struggle to get out of the way.
I was going to say.
I don't think she is in a wheelchair in the Wizard of Oz because she's got those shoes that can make her walk in it or something like that. I can't remember that. Wizard of Oz, I can't remember very well, but like, I don't know. And I can't remember. I actually can't really remember what happens in Wicked Part 2 that much. So, because it's been so long since I've seen it. Like, most of my memory is of this first part of the film. So,
right.
So,
do you know what? It had me wanting to be like, do you know what? When's this? I want to go see Wizard of Oz again. I don't know which version I'm going to see because I haven't seen a version of the Wizard of Oz in years. Is there another version of Wizard of Oz, or is it just the? I don't know. When was it? Is it Julia Garland?
Yeah,
1936 or something like that. 1936.
Is that? There must be a more recent one.
Well,
there was a
version
remake
of it.
Yeah,
but...
there was a remake.
But that is the one. Yeah, I'll have to look into it because it's quite a good story. I always like a villain origin story, and this one I suppose was kind of the original, like, oh, maybe your bad guy wasn't always bad, like because it is the
remember in
that
the Wizard of Oz, she wants to kill a teenage girl and her little dog. So
yeah, but is that really that?
I mean the dog though. Come on, you got to feel a little sympathy for her wanting to kill the dog.
To be fair, the dog, I would say in that movie, like that's barely a dog. I mean, that's just one step above a rat. So yeah. But then, I mean, it is a weird, it's a weird change to be like the animals. I actually, as like a concept, I love that idea. That she's there like trying to help them, these animals, and then he's like, oh yeah, he's actually tried to he always loves the birds, and then like she changes them thinking that they're helping him. She's like, what the fuck have I done? And then they're constantly in pain with these wings, and they like are after her for it. I think that's fucking great. Like she's now caused it all. It's almost, it's basically like Anakin Skywalker vibes, of like he causes the death of her, he causes that death that he foresaw. The levels.
Yeah, but it's also like it's quite deep, isn't it? The whole like
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she goes there trying to like do this good thing, and then she leaves being this like fucking like hated person. It's kind of this whole thing around propaganda and what you can make people believe. In this, it may not have been so when it was first written, but nowadays, where like literally some guys just got elected to president based off the back of a bunch of stupid people believing a bunch of nonsense. Yeah, like it shows how like fucking people will believe anything. So I fully believe that Elphaba would be ostracized based off of people believing absolute nonsense, because let's not forget, boys and girls, that people in America believe that there's a town where they're just immigrants are eating people's dogs. Like Americans are believing that, so you can't tell me that the bunch of
Americans don't lump us all together.
You can't tell me that MP wasn't there on the day screaming at a Mexican guy on the street because he felt like he was going to come along and eat his dog.
You stop eating them dogs.
So I believe that Elphaba could be ostracized in this manner. And I feel like that kind of focus on the propaganda. I don't even kind of remember, to be honest, if that's such a big part of the first of the theatre show. But I feel like
if they have changed it, I would be interested to see if anyone out there has seen the production relatively recently, or the story quite well, then I'd be so interested to hear like how does the theatre production do it, because I do think they did that quite well once they get to Oz. I must say I was on board, even though I've been in the cinema a while. I was on board when they were in Oz itself, and I was like, okay, we're really rolling here.
I feel like you mean the Emerald City.
What did I say?
Oz.
Oh right, Oz is the whole place, isn't it? Yeah. The Emerald City. Sorry, that's what I meant. Because the first 40 minutes, I was like, get the fuck on with it. Like, I mean, they didn't need the whole beginning bit when she was a young kid, did they? Like, just fucking get on with it.
Yeah,
like,
I know. Oh,
I
there's
didn't
a
mind
lot. They
that.
could
I
take
didn't mind that.
Get into the yeah, but for me,
Nah,
it's an
man, you need that.
160 minutes.
Yes.
You need to
No,
cut
no,
some.
no, no, no.
And then there's a
Yeah.
part 2. There's a part 2. Like you couldn't
No,
tell the
they do.
story in 160 minutes.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. You couldn't. I do understand why it needed to be 2 parts because the theatre show is long. But you are right in saying that this part could have been slight. I don't think it's
they
like
needed
so
to
much
trim some.
I don't think it's trimmed the beginning bit as much as you could. There's probably like a minute you could take off of about like 30 scenes that would have made it half an hour shorter. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the one with the Prince. Like that one, I was a bit like, this one's a bit long.
His
now.
song, where they're like that. I didn't care for that scene as much.
Yeah,
I thought that was
but
one of the weaker
in the
yeah,
library.
me too.
Yeah,
Yeah. That one, I was a bit
the
like,
way that I think I like the set more than anything. The way that I loved how that
the
spun around.
the rotating thing was good.
I thought that was
cool.
really cool and how they danced through.
I can imagine there was some of it I saw and I was like, oh, I can imagine that being really cool if they could do some practicality with that on set on a live, theater stage.
Yeah, you don't see that much.
No.
I also like
agree.
the wizard's robot head thing. I thought that was.
So that's from the theater.
That was really cool.
That in the theater is like,
yeah,
because they can't, I can't remember if you actually ever see the wizard in the theater or not. I literally can't remember. No, you must do. But yeah, I mean, I vividly remember the head in the theater.
I remember. I'm sure I remember something like that from actual.
Really
Wizard of Oz,
impressive,
don't they? Well, they do a voice at least, or something like that.
Man,
I don't know.
You're
In the
you
theater,
guys were like musical experts here. This is
hella
a sham
no, but I
of
mean,
a show.
I haven't seen I haven't seen Wicked for.
I've also never
I
seen
don't even know when it was.
I don't think either one of you have seen it. To be honest, I think this is all lies.
No. I saw it
on a throne of lies.
It was many years
that is
ago.
Deej, to be fair.
No. Don't accuse me of sitting on a throne of lies. You sit on a throne of lies.
Yeah, go on. Make a joke. Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah, I was going to, but you've cut me off there.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, you've cut me off. I was going to. I'm going to save that one because it was particularly vicious.
I bet it was. I can imagine. I can well imagine. Well, yeah, I almost, part of me wants to give it more than 6.5. But I don't know.
Do you know what?
If something's not for you, something's not for you. Do you know what I mean?
You know what it is? I don't think I could give it more than that. Is like, I know it sounds almost like a stupid thing to say when I say it's only good because of the music, right? But
yeah,
take away kind of Ariana Grande's kind of bits because I did kind of genuinely enjoy her. Like it is, and I also quite enjoyed the Chinese guy. Or I shouldn't say Chinese, the Oriental guy, who was, like overtly camp and whatnot. I enjoyed him, but like for the most part, what makes this good is the music stuff, right? And it does look impressive. But take the music part of it. Am I going to be interested in this film? Probably not, right? So it's not like something where it stands so much on its own as a story or anything. Although it is kind of original, I suppose. It's the musical part of it which makes it good, but it's not like, for instance, say Moulin Rouge, right? Which again, obviously, it's a musical, so the music's a big part of it, but also kind of there's bits of Moulin Rouge where I'm like, oh, that's amazing, or like I know we're seeing Moana 2 next week. Moana, for instance, where I was like, oh, I enjoy the actual story as well as just the music. Whereas this is so much based on these big musical numbers, so. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. I love it beyond that. And if you took the music out of this, would I be that interested in it? Probably not. So that's probably why for me it's an amalgamation of all those things, and you can't say without the music because it is a musical and it's everything else around it is designed to be interpreted within that. But as an overall thing, I enjoyed it, but I didn't love it. I just loved bits of the music.
Yeah, 100%. I could listen to the soundtrack again, and I could happily sing along and listen to that, whatever. But yeah, am I interested necessarily in the story? Probably not. So, MP, are you happy with your Cs?
Yeah, I'll stay with the 6.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay with the 6.5. It's one of them ones that comes with a huge caveat. The same when I see Terrifier, which is a weird kind of comparison, because Terrifier's probably not got as much violence as this one. But it comes with a huge caveat.
You think maybe?
Yeah, it comes with a huge caveat that this is my rating that if you were saying to me, oh yeah, I've got my stepdaughter, she's 13, she's coming to visit, whatever, like, should I take her to see it? I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, she's gonna love it. So yeah, so 6.5 and a 6.
Yeah, I think I'll stay at 6.5. Do you know what? If it had been a little bit shorter, maybe.
Yeah.
But just to hold my attention a little bit better in certain moments, maybe I could have gone to a 7 for it, based on the fact of it being the kind of film. Because for what it's supposed to be, it is elite stuff. I do think. Do you know what I mean? I just guess we're not. The things I love about watching it in a theater didn't always translate onto the screen, though I still think it did translate really, really well. So I suppose, if you like theater, you're going to like it, but it didn't quite do. I'd still much rather go and see the theater version than this. So yeah, probably 6.5.
Yeah. Theater is just next level in it. So yeah. Okay. So what does that give us then? 6.5 and 6.5.
That's it's the way you asked me that, as if that's a calculation a human mind could do. Ridiculous.
No, obviously I know you're going to be using the Just Go Watch calculator app.
Yeah, absolutely. Version 7.
7 then.
We're already on version 7.
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys. Even
there's some serious issues with version 6. Serious issues with
the team is working hard on that. Team is working hard.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, even me using the Just Watch calculator, I just got it wrong. So it's a 6.3. A 6.3 on there. Officially, we recommend you see it. That's what that number says to me. Is that the Just Go Watch pod says you should see it.
Yeah. That's it. If you take into the entire human population, then they should see it.
And also, I mean, I feel like the biggest shock of this pod was the way MP seemed to be going down a really venomous route of leading us to believe some real hatred was coming. And in the end, pretty much I get from it that he actually quite liked it.
So subverted your expectations.
You did. You subverted. in a big way. In a big way.
So what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes is saying?
I think it's going to be high on both counts. So I'm going to say 90 and 95.
Ooh. I'll agree. I think it's going to be high. Let's see. Critics going to love it because it's a musical and all that shit. They'll probably be, I'll go 92 for critics. Audience will be high too, because most of them are going to be people who either love musicals or of low and average intelligence. So I will say audience 88.
The Muad'Dij is successful. 90 and 97.
90 and
90. That's all 4 for me today. That's all 4 to me today, boy.
Yeah.
That's a clean sweep.
I'm a little
You
rusty.
shall know him, for he shall dominate in every statistical category. Praise me, Hat.
So they say. So they say.
Praise me as your pod lord and savior. For the way to heaven shall be through the Muad'Dij.
When it comes to podcasts, I am atheist.
How can a man be an atheist when literally you are in the presence of the pod god?
It's like Monopoly and New Monopoly.
All right. Well, listen.
I am for Jesus.
We are slightly low. We are slightly lower than that, but there are some obvious reasons why. If you are still listening and have enjoyed the pod, even if you haven't enjoyed the pod, follow us anyway and give us some hate, give us some abuse. If you are a theatre lover, tell us why we've got this completely wrong and it was either way better or way worse. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Watch it on YouTube. And you can watch our sort of faces move a little bit as each of us speak. Or just have it silently on in the background to give us another view. That would help as well.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, but please, isn't it? Now listen.
Do us a favor.
The podcast version of us is doing very well, and it's going from strength to strength. As it has been for many years. But our YouTube channel is relatively new, and we are trying to get those trying to move into that realm. So give us a watch and a follow and a like and a comment saying, you know the kind of comment I like to see. Something about, really good pod, guys. I love the fact you keep on calling out your pedo. I hate him. I hate pedos. Hang him. That kind of things. Yeah, like, I like that. So just do it for the Muad'Dij, innit?
Yeah, sure. But anyway, there is only one way. MP, I'm hoping you still remember how to do this. There's only one way that you're going to know what you thought of Wicked, and that is
just go watch.
I couldn't hold it that long.